Hello, I am gonna interview my papa Lyle, and on about the Sputnik, about what he knows. Were you disappointed in American scientists when you found that Russians had successfully launched a satellite into space?
So I was younger when it happened, but it was known as the space race. There was a race between the scientists with the Soviet Union and the Americans, and there was a race to see who could get satellites into space first. And so the Soviet Union won the space race when they launched Sputnik. And so it was a great disappointment to the American scientists and space exploration at the time.
Do you remember watching the news about Sputnik?
Yes, I do. They had renditions of what Sputnik looked like and how it orbited the Earth, and the concerns that they had about what could develop as a result of the Soviet Union launching Sputnik.
Did you have fears about how Sputnik would spy on Americans?
Yes, there were fears about the Soviet Union being able to develop satellites that would spy on American military assets and what they could do in terms of offensive weapons against the Americans.
If if you were a child, did you play astronauts after the launch of Sputnik?
Yes, we used to climb up on the fence and try to jump up onto the moon, but sadly gravity took over and we crashed on the ground.
What were some ways concerns that people around you had about the Cold War?
Well, the Cold War was very real. My parents, in particular, all of the veterans from World War II and their families had gone through the war, and they were concerned about having another war with the Soviet Union. So there was a great deal of concern, but fortunately it ended up being a Cold War. Do you know what a Cold War is?
A war with no physical battles.
That is correct. Fortunately, there were no physical battles, and there were no fatalities, and eventually, when the Soviet Union collapsed, the Cold War ended.
Ding-a-ling-a-ling.
Ding-a-ling-a-ling.
And that's my interview. Thank you.
You're welcome.